Hey guys, what's up? Happy Tuesday. Yes, I know my video is lagging, but if you feel the need to drop a million comments just to get this video boosted to tell me how slow and laggy my video is, feel free as long as you can hear me. I'm having some camera issues. This isn't an internet issue. Been working on it. You guys can deal for today. Anyways, today's show is going to be a fun one. We've been really enjoying these react segments. So you may have heard that Kamala Harris has done a few interviews. I heard today she did a Howard Stern interview. We might be able to grab a few clips from that. But she did two other interviews, one being the 60-minute interview, which we are going to play and react to for you. And she also did another very curious appearance on the Call Her Daddy podcast. If you guys are like me, you've never heard of it. I had no idea that this podcast even existed. And that's because they don't really talk about politics, but there's kind of an interesting story behind why she brought Kamala on the podcast. And she's getting a lot of backlash because Kamala decided to do this podcast during the hurricane that was going on in North Carolina. Okay. So, which she did not discuss on this podcast. So, we are going to be reacting to that one as well. So, you guys know the drill. Please go ahead, grab a snack, grab a drink, relax. Make sure you use the potty before you sit down because we are going to have a great show. It starts now.
You were not tuned into Somewhere in the Middle with Soonie X Mo. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, Don on the beat.
I got so many ops.
Everywhere I go, I
got so many ops.
so many ops.
I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they wanna kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so many Glocks. Hey, ain't none of them empty. Jesus said they would hate me too. That's how I know it's envy. I got so many ops. I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they try to kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so.
That was dope. You guys just fill the comments with just hate on me because I totally deserve it. That was whack. Okay. I really need to practice. I really need to practice. I was like, oh, when I came back because I hit the wrong intro. Good job, Mo. Good job.
That was a good one. That was funny.
Hey, that intro is fire. That's the first time I'm
appreciate
seeing it. That's the
I
first
just did
time,
it
y'all.
today.
That was a live reaction from me about the intro because I hadn't seen it. Soonie just did it. Good job, Sue.
Mo. What are we gonna do with Mo, y'all?
I don't know.
What are we gonna do with her?
I'm so technically challenged. I've been like, what do you call me? A boomer? A sooner? What
It's
is
definitely
it?
a boomer. You're technically you're Gen
Whatever.
X.
Yeah.
Isn't she Gen X?
Yeah.
Yeah, technically you're Gen X, but you're definitely on the boomer side.
Yeah.
It's okay. My mom is too, though. Y'all want to hear a funny story?
Go ahead.
So my mom purchased like some equipment for me, right, for my birthday, and she's like, I don't know what's going on with the package. I've been trying to get it sent. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'll log in and I'll check it for you. And she said, okay. So she like calls me freaking out. They're saying my account is on hold, and I said, okay, why though? I don't know. I just know I'm not doing this again. This is just too much. And I said, okay, well, let's work through it together. So I called the people and they're like, yeah, something's going on with your account. You just have to log in and like change a few things. So I log in and they're like, oh, your account's on hold. Pretty much Amazon is doing its job. They're like, hey, this charge looks weird. So log in so that we know it's you type
Right.
deal. Right.
Right.
So she had to send in some information, etc. When I tell you, this is the most impatient, rude customer. And this is my mother. She's not even a fucking customer. But I would hang up on my mom if I worked in customer service.
We talked about this a little bit.
I was
I'm the
like,
same
bro,
way.
this is ridiculous. You can't get mad that these people can't work outside of their scope. And she's like, well, they should be able to transfer me. I said, do you know that it's discouraged, that you actually lose points for having to transfer to a supervisor?
Right.
So they don't want to transfer to a supervisor. And even then, the supervisor can't do shit for you. She just was not hearing it, bro. And I was like, wow, this is what's going to happen to the older people like Mo and my mom when technology takes
No, and now
over.
Well, and now you just equip me with more trash to talk, because I'm that person that, like, when I start to get frustrated, I treat the people like shit. And because I try to be nice, but then I start to get mad. So now that I know they lose points, I'm going to be like, and don't try to delay transferring me to your manager because you lose points, because this is your fault. You couldn't help me. Just
Wow.
listen, I'm going to be like that. I am like the Karen of customer service.
Clearly.
Like, seriously.
That's
Seriously.
ridiculous. That is ridiculous. You can't just be patient and wait while they, figure out what they're trying to figure out for you. You got to be a brat about it.
No, because I'm from the customer is always right era.
Oh,
And yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to hear it. And by the way, like, my background is in customer service. I was like a developer of customer service, practices and things like that for, a corporation. So like this is my background. So like, I'm not trying to hear your excuses as to why. So the fact that your company structure is not set up properly and you don't have the correct models of troubleshooting, not my problem. I'm the customer. Fix it.
No, because they don't speak
Yes.
English. That's another thing I've noticed since I've moved back home.
Every last
is
one of
a
them.
lot of these people don't speak freaking English. It makes me upset too. We're in this. Listen, we're in this together, y'all. But Mo, no, you worked in customer service, and you still aren't giving people leeway. That's crazy.
No, I'm not.
I would expect that when you work in customer service, you at least have some sort of like sympathy. You understand.
Well, okay,
No?
here's the thing. There's a difference between having a problem answering the customer's issue or resolving the customer's issues, and how you go about communicating that. And them not being able to speak English is a big problem, right? Because they don't have any warmth about, like, I get that this is your job and all day long you're talking to people that have problems. I didn't force you to go apply for this job. You're working in it, so make the best of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way that you can tell me, you know what, ma'am? I have reviewed everything that I have access to, and I'm really sorry that I haven't been able to help you. But the problem is they come from another country. And me, because I learned to speak Spanish along with English, I understand that when you have English as a second language, there's not apologetic words in other languages like there are in English. Okay. But when you're dealing with people who are calling you from America, they want to hear those apologetic words. They want to hear, I understand, I sympathize. And I want to feel like you mean it. Okay. Not that you're some Filipino Indian robot. Okay. That you're reading from a script and you're being told to tell me that. Like, I want to know that you feel my pain, because there's a difference. Like, the one time that I get somebody from America, it's a totally different experience. Close the border.
What the? Whoa, hold on. Wait a minute. Sorry. That was like an endless rant of how entitled Americans are. That's all I really heard.
Well, I mean, this is where I live. I don't live in any other country but America. So yes, I am entitled. I expect the best.
You expect the best.
Yes, absolutely. And the best is here. But I'm having to deal with some, foreign person that doesn't understand. And like, they're used to shit. That's the other thing, is they're used to shit. Like, they've already like lowered their standards because they live in the slums of Mumbai, and like they don't understand that, like, I'm not used to this. I'm sorry, but that is the fact, and I'm allowed to say that. Okay.
Hey, whatever floats your boat.
Bring the jobs back. Bring the jobs back to America, people.
Whatever floats your boat. Hey, look, man, I'm just saying.
Nick
Be
Fuentes
nice
would
to
love
these
you.
people. Be nice to these people because they're trying. They're doing their best. They're trying. They're doing their best. They have to work, and sometimes giving you what you want is just not an option. You know, it's just not. You got to be nice to these people.
Okay.
And
No.
it's the company's fault that
absolutely.
they're hired. Not. It's not their fault.
I understand that, but I don't get to, unless you want to transfer me to the CEO of the company, I'd be happy to lay this shit on him or her, but you're the person I get to talk to. So guess what? You get my wrath.
This is terrible. This is terrible. I can't believe you.
Who agrees with, like, I need some support in the comments. Okay. I need support in the comments. I know y'all agree with me. Don't be afraid to be hated and to be called, you know, a bigot or racist or whatever. Just tell me I'm freaking right. Just tell me I'm freaking right.
Don't be afraid to be called a bigot and racist. Oh my goodness. Well,
I don't care.
We are live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We're pretty much live everywhere. I'm going to attach my Facebook page. That way we're live there. Do me a favor, guys. We should have way more than 26 people total here. Share this live. Let people know on Instagram we're live. Let people know on TikTok we're live. I see y'all coming in on TikTok. And wherever else you watch from. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here because this channel is great. You just don't know it yet. Yeah, I think that's it. Do you have anything else?
No, that's all I have. What do we want to start with the 60 minutes first?
Yeah, this is we're reacting to Kamala's recent interviews.
Yeah.
I took notes because this woman she is a train wreck. I can't believe that people are really considering voting for this woman. I think that's what baffles me the most. Yeah, there's definitely people considering voting for her.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, so I have, so Soonie and I had this conversation earlier because she was like, the full Kamala interview is not 60 minutes. And I'm like, no, it's like a portion of it. So we'll start it from the beginning of the interview so we can just kind of like pause it as we go. And then we can discuss. But just to preface this, in the beginning of this, I'm going to play right before she comes on. They explain in this interview, 60 Minutes does, that President Trump was also invited to do the 60 Minutes interview. And if you guys don't recall, he did an interview, I think it was last year. And that was the one, it was like notorious. He like walked out on the interview because the lady that was interviewing him refused to admit that the Hunter Biden laptop stuff was not Russia disinformation. So he said, I'll come on 60 Minutes if you issue me an apology, because now it's come out that that was real, right? Mm-hmm. And they didn't want to do that. So, yeah. So I'll play this interview. We'll start it. And you just let me know where we want to stop it. Just yell out.
I've got the timestamp. So,
okay.
But I don't know when I've got the timestamps from YouTube.
Oh, okay. Do you want to play the YouTube one then?
Sure.
Do you want to take control?
I mean, I guess I can. I don't have it pulled up, but I can.
Because is the YouTube one the full interview?
To my knowledge, yeah. I don't really know what else she would say in that, because towards the end of the interview they get into Tim Walz.
Yes, and I do want to bring that up because you guys have to.
Tim Walz, man, I cannot believe. I can't believe he of all. You know what, Kamala? Okay. But him, and the fact that she chose him as a VP,
is
mind blowing. I personally don't understand that.
I don't either. And, you know, they kind of ask him that question in a way like, you came out of nowhere. Why don't we do this while you get the YouTube video up, since you have your timestamps on there? Let me play the Tim Waltz portion first, because it's like literally minutes. It's not anything long.
Okay.
And then we can go from there. Let me see. So I'm doing it on Hulu, so there's going to be an ad here, but let me can I get through it? I hate this shit.
What up, y'all on TikTok? Please tap that screen for me, share, let people know that I'm live. Towards the end, I'll shift over to here and come over and have some questions from you guys. So
I don't know
please,
why
please,
it's not
please tap the
playing.
screen. What up, Zone? I see you.
I'm hitting play. I don't know why it's not playing.
Boomer
I'm
Mo, y'all.
so listen. I am not. This is not a. This is not a Mo problem. Okay, this is a Hulu problem, and I guarantee you, you know, if you guys want to call Hulu right now and listen to the crap that we're gonna get told, customer service by all
Sanjay
means.
and Gupta are going to pick up the phone and say that their names are Brad and Sarah. I hate when they do that. I'm like, your name's not fucking Brad.
You know what? Fuck it. Go ahead and play your thing. And
Okay.
we'll come back to Timmy.
Oh, I can't vote. I'm a felon. Oh, God. That's a new one.
Oh, wait, stop. I got it. Stop.
Oh, my God, bro.
Wait,
This
did
is-
it? Shut up, Soonie.
Yo, this is ridiculous. What is happening?
Bruh.
Shut up. Okay, be quiet. Can you guys hear that?
Welcome to JJ's.
Of
What do you
course.
have?
I'll have a number one.
I swear to you that
guys.
I like it's just got, it can't get any worse. It cannot get any worse. We need the Jeopardy song.
We really have to watch ads. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Like, I would have been like, were you in Tiananmen Square or were you not? Because that's more than just getting a date wrong, Timmy.
That's way more than getting a date wrong. I actually have the audio of him straight lying.
You do?
I do. You guys want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it. I want to hear the context of the lie.
Here's the audio of him just telling a bunch of fibs, man. Tim Waltz does, though. Here we go.
Years, but I was in Hong Kong when it happened. I was in Hong Kong on June 4th when Tiananmen happened.
Yeah.
Several of our, quite a few of our folks.
He was where? Hold on, y'all heard it, right? Because it's not him
Yeah.
being a dipshit. He said he was where?
On
Knucklehead.
June 4th when Tiananmen happened.
Yeah.
I was in Hong Kong on June 4th when Tiananmen happened.
So
He
he
said
gave
it.
the date and the event. Like, that's very specific. That wasn't like a knucklehead, like,
No.
oh,
One
yeah.
more
I
time
know.
for the people in the back,
I know.
y'all.
Years, but I was in Hong Kong when it happened. I was in Hong Kong on June 4th when Tiananmen happened.
Yeah.
He went a whole year later, just so y'all know.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's like me saying, yeah, I was in New York at the at the towers on 9/11, and I wasn't. Like, I just completely like made up that entire scenario. That's basically what he did.
He lied. He just lied. Trump's a pathological liar, though. Sir, at this point, you're pathological. I don't even think you can help it because
Like, what if
you said you carried weapons of war. That never happened because you didn't go to war, nor did you carry a weapon. You said you retired as command sergeant major. Not true. You you retired as a master sergeant because you did not complete your training. Okay.
Yeah.
And now you said that you were in Hong Kong during this epic historical event. What up, Liddell? And you don't even have you didn't even go. You went a whole
No.
year later. And then but you telling people you went on a whole podcast. Mind you, this podcast got only 500 and something views that he did. Yeah. That speaks for itself. A candidate that's running for VP can only get 500 fucking views, and then when you're on the show, you're just straight lying.
Right.
That's funny.
Like, how do you even explain that lie? Oh, wait, I meant to say on June 4th, I was at a Japanese restaurant. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was at Hong Kong, Hibachi. That's where I was at.
What? He lied about going on a date with me in 2000 at a really nice, expensive restaurant when it was really McDonald's? Oh, why would you lie about that, Tim?
Tell the truth, shame the devil. But that's not even the worst part, y'all. I have, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 timestamps in Kamala's interview where she either butchers the answer, outright lies, or is very deceptive with her answer. And I took some notes down so that I can explain a lot of these things to you guys, because I don't think many people pay attention to what she says, especially her voters. So more than anything, because there's a lot of Democrats who watch me on TikTok, I'm doing this for y'all. You need to understand that what this woman is proposing is extremely unlikely and probably never going to happen. It's just not going to work.
Okay, let's get started. It's so crazy, you guys.
So
I don't give a damn about the people alike. I need their leader to be about, because they're the ones that can push the buttons, not the people.
She answered the question though. And I don't know if people caught on to what she said. He said, pretty much, is Israel an ally?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I think what we need to understand is that Israelis in America share interests.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you don't control Bibi. You don't control Ukraine. And she's going to mention that in a little bit. You have no real control over anything. And more than anything, y'all, this should show you exactly how someone of a caliber of Bibi Netanyahu or Putin is going to react to this woman being at the helm of this country. She said, Iran, don't. Y'all remember that?
I was about to say replay, because we all need to see how serious she was about that.
And y'all want to see it?
They still didn't listen.
She said, don't.
And the eyes went big. Yeah.
She scowled him and clenched her jaws to let him know she was serious. And then motherfucker said, boom, boo, I'm gonna bomb whatever the fuck I want. What you gonna do to me? They said, really? Watch this.
They said, boom.
You sure about that? Kamala, you sure about that? That's what they said. And then they proceeded to bomb the crap out of Israel.
Right.
But once again, this is who you guys want at the helm of this country. The answer is no. Thank you, Birdman. She does not view Israel as an ally. She understands that there's a special interest that we share, and we're going to continue to share that interest, and whatever Israel needs, we're going to provide. Now, if that's going to translate over to her base for them to hold her accountable, who knows? But this is just another example of her just outright being deceptive. Bitch, tell the truth. It's that simple.
And you know what's funny is that's not the first time she said don't. I remember one time in a press conference, they asked her about illegal aliens. Like, what's your message to illegal aliens who want to come across the border? She was like, don't come. Don't. And they didn't listen either. Ain't nobody listening to her.
Freaking Kamala.
Gosh.
Okay. Here we go. Let's continue this blunder, y'all. Let me go back to my notes. So that's how it starts out. Really rough. She's talking about Israel. She gets into Ukraine a little bit.
That will ruin the ban on price gouging will ruin businesses.
It will ruin businesses, but more importantly, when she says from a macroeconomic standpoint and proceeds to discuss inflation, she's being deceptive. when you say macro, you said let's look at this as the bigger picture here. People are spending money. Okay, they're going to factor in what they're going to do is bring up GDP, and that's what the spending we do as consumers, right? But what they don't account for is the nuance. Okay, what she's not talking about is although inflation is at 2.5, I think. If I'm incorrect, put it in the chat. Inflation is at 2.5. But what they don't tell you is that 2.5 inflation rate absolutely affects key sectors that affect American pockets. Can you guess what they are? This is what they don't tell you. Shelter. Okay. The cost of shelter has risen 5.2%. Motor vehicle insurance has increased. Cost of food has increased because of their ridiculous spending. There was one more. I want to say it was the, what do you call it? The manufacturing industry. All these things are suffering. So while she's saying that, hey, things look good from a macro standpoint, she's not talking to you about these key areas that we're actually struggling in. The only thing that she does hyper focus on, the only thing is price gouging. And you cannot force companies to lower their prices. They have to make up for the damage that you're doing in the government. And the fact that they have to spend more means that they're going to charge the customer more because they have to pay employees. I'm sure some of these places give out groceries. I mean, not groceries, but provide, go please, insurance for their employees. So how are you going to bring down price gouging, bitch? Explain it. You're not going to bring price gouging, and you know you're not going to bring it down. And you talking about this whacked out, crazy economy from a macro standpoint is extremely deceptive. Talk about the nuance. I like the fact that this guy said her policy lacks substance. She does not explain how any of this is going to go down. She just says that she's going to deal with the grocery stores. That's it.
Right.
That's it, bro.
Well, because what she's going to do is and I think I gave this example last show, is she's going to, for example, tell a grocery store, you cannot sell these dozen eggs, this is an example, for more than $1. Okay. Well, that grocery store has to buy those eggs for more than $1, or they have to make up some type of profit, right? They have to make a profit from that. So if they're being told they cannot go above a certain amount for eggs, for example, and they still have to pay the same amount of money for the eggs, guess what that means? They are now not going to be able to afford to stay in business. And then you know what comes after that? Look at countries like Venezuela. Okay. What comes after that is the government steps in, the daddy government steps in, and they go, oh, don't worry that this small business went out of business and you can't get eggs from them. Because guess what? We're going to provide for you on a weekly or a monthly basis, a stipend of the things that we think you need to survive. Okay. Eggs, in some countries it's eggs, rice, beans. Okay. Don't think that they have a array of choices. They have very basic food items that they have allotted to them and no more.
Yep.
And that's exactly where this is going. So
inflation is at 2.5. But these certain sectors, they're up, I think up 5%. In motor insurance, it's up 16%, and a significant price increases in household budgets, particularly for lower family incomes. And by the way, everything that I just read off to you, the statistics and numbers, is from the BLS. I got a lot of this from the government and just looked at the data and compared it to what she was saying. So that's my critique and fact check on her macro view of the economy. 2.5, that's not a bad inflation, but you're completely ruling out that it was just at 9.1%, and Americans are still feeling it in their fucking pockets because all these other sectors, I guess, aren't responding to whatever you're doing to the economy, Kamala. Let's keep going.
A macro view from her macro brain.
Businesses are a part of the backbone of America's economy.
But her
You're
last
right,
statement.
Kamala. You're right, Kamala. You're right. Okay. But you know what you're also not bringing up is the fact that your policy is nothing but investments that are going to continue to put us in debt.
Mm-hmm.
You are planning on investing in Americans when we've seen no return on the umpteen investments that we've already given you. And like this guy said, how are you going to pay for all this?
She's going to tax the rich, Soonie.
Well,
Duh.
according to some research that I did, this is according to some research I did, the top 1% already contributes over 40% of the federal income tax revenue.
Right.
They already contribute that. Now, where she becomes deceptive is when she talks about the tax rate. If someone is making $500,000, right? 24% to them is still a significant amount of money versus 25% that's coming from the middle class. Either way, the rich is still paying more than what you're saying they are. Over 40% is what the 1% pays.
Mm-hmm.
This is where they get deceptive once again. 24% of 800,000 is how much, Kamala? You making it seem like, oh, they only pay 24%. Yeah, but 24% of what?
Right.
You're going to tax the rich and they're going to leave, and we're going to be right back in the boat we were when what's his name? George Bush was in office. When all those companies left America, all those manufacturing companies, all those companies out in Pennsylvania, they all fucking left.
Mm-hmm.
So explain, Kamala, and there's people on TikTok, y'all have to explain this 24% rate.
Yeah.
They're paying 24% of $800,000 or however much they're grossing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we're pretending like it's not.
And help Mo out, because this is exactly what I was bitching about at the beginning. Do you want to have more foreign people to deal with when you call the customer service? I don't. And you guys, I know that a lot of people assume that everybody who's rich has businesses and all the money they make from the business just goes right into their pocket and they go buy, lavish things, which yes, they do. I think they work hard for the money they deserve to, right? But they also put that money back into their business, okay? Yes. Which benefits the people that work for them. But if they don't have money to put into their business, that results in people losing their jobs.
Bingo. It's that simple. Thank you for the math, Birdman. Here's some more math. So if a person at the top percent earns $1 million and they pay that 24% tax rate that she's talking about, they would be paying $240,000 in taxes. While someone in the middle class who earns $70,000, paying a 25% rate, would be paying $17,500. So you tell me who's paying more, even with the numbers that we just crunched. Yeah, the rich are still paying a significant amount that is way more than the middle class is paying. Period. Point blank. And if we want to talk about 400,000 and we talk about 24% of that, you do the math there as well. The rich is still paying their fair share. Nobody, I challenge anybody after this live show, come up here and debate me on this, because I guarantee you can't.
Yeah. And you know what, too, guys? I wish I could remember the name of the stream, but it's this guy. I want to say, I know his name is Snooze or something like that. Anyways, he goes around and he talks to rich people. Okay. And he did this whole episode asking rich people who they were voting for. And none of them said, oh, I'm definitely going to vote for Trump because, this tax stuff that Kamala is doing is really hurting my business. To be honest with you, it's not personally hurting them. It's hurting the people that work for them, because rich people are rich because they know how to work taxes.
Yep.
This is what they went after Trump for, right? For evading taxes. No, they're just smart and they know what to do so that they don't have to pay taxes. So the reality is you're not going to hurt the rich people. You can tax them up the wazoo. They're going to find a way to write off that money and not have to pay a damn thing. But it is going to trickle down to the middle class. That's who it's going to hurt. She is intentionally wanting to hurt the middle class and those very people that she claims to care for.
Yep. Intentionally. Vince, I'm not even sure why you're asking about the 2020 election. We're discussing the Kamala Harris interview. I don't really discuss the 2020 election. That's almost 4 years ago now. It doesn't really matter. Can you respond to my tax rate fact check? And then I might come over and pay attention to what you just said. But you talking to me about Trump winning an election for what? Nobody up here is talking about that. Let's continue, though. Evading the question. How are you going to pass this through Congress?
Right.
How are you going to pass this through Congress? You know, when they're quiet, we on the same page. They know. They know what? How are you going to pay for it?
Yeah.
That's all we want to know, Kamala. How are you going to pay for it? Bro. This lady, I just debunked the whole tax rate claim. We just did the math there. Kamala Harris voters are on my TikTok right now, and y'all sound crazy, bro. Yeah. Respond to what I'm saying. I want to hear about Trump and his election. Respond to my fact checks. Period.
And since somebody wants to bring up Trump, and I'm sure people are going, well, how's Trump going to pay for tax cuts? Anybody can answer that question? I can. He's already made it clear. He's going to pay for it by tariffs, okay? Which means he's going to penalize businesses who take things like customer service over to India and the Philippines, okay?
Wait. Thank you. Mm-hmm. We can keep going now. We're going to skip.
With pesos.
We're going to skip, but we're not going to skip because this is where he grills her harder, bro. What are you talking about? How can deregulation and tax cuts that put more money in American consumers' pockets, the average American had more money in their pocket, bro? Yeah. What are you talking about? Deregulation brings money. More people can compete in the market. What are you talking about? Why? Why? Like, why do y'all want to vote for this woman? Tell me why. Tell me why. I'm begging because I don't understand.
Hey, I sent you a request to go live on TikTok just so my viewers can see this video. So I'm not going to come on the video or anything like that, but I want it to be shared to my page as well.
Okay. Oh gosh, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Did she fall out of the coconut tree? How he gave her hardball questions. Shout out to you, Lewis, because so do I. Somebody needed to ask her these hard questions. Yet nobody talks about how Trump's scared to go back to 60 Minutes because they grilled his ass. Because they grilled his behind too in 2020. Look, if Trump is not wanting to go on 60 Minutes because he's scared, then Trump is being a coward. Like this is what I've run into with you guys. You're acting like the people up here are Trump-tards.
I'm sometimes.
She's a Trump-tard. I'm not. All right. Trump won't go on CNN, and if he won't go on CNN and he's being a bitch about it, nigga, quit being a bitch.
Right.
It's that simple. You think I'm gonna be like, well, he doesn't want to go on there because this, that, and the third. No, if he doesn't want to go on there, I would love to hear his reasons why, and if they're not valid, then Trump is being a business. It's that simple. Quit being a punk. Go on there, take the punches, and roll with it. Mm-hmm. You know what the media is gonna do to you by this point, Trump. Stop acting like a toddler and just go on there and deal with it and prove them wrong. J.D. Vance showed up and showed out during that debate. If he can do it 3 against 1, then Trump, you can sit your butt down one-on-one and have this conversation. It's that simple.
But you know what, though? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this for all the Trump tards out there. They did him dirty with that Russian disinformation shit. The man has been through hell and back with all these court cases. The least they owe him is to say, all right, we apologize. We were wrong. You were right. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because
sorry for sure.
Right. Because people who are going to watch this that don't realize that has already been, debunked need to know.
I agree.
I got you, Trump.
I got you, Trump. Listen, Trump is Trump. It's still Trump 2024 over here. But I think he should go on regardless. The media is going to lie. What? You're telling one side to compromise while you do nothing but take advantage and can give him an inch, they take a mile. Where is the compromise? Because when I see compromise, I see the Supreme Court kicked Roe v. Wade back to the states. Here we are. Boom. That sounds like a compromise. It sounds like you're not getting rid of abortion. Okay. Nah, that was my live. You're not getting rid of abortion. You're just allowing the states to determine whether they want it or not. That sounds like a compromise. Like, how much more can we compromise on this? What else needs to be done? Yeah, they suspended my live stream for policy violation. Mind you, I have no policy violation. I'm just
same on my YouTube channel.
Live. Wait, so we got taken down on YouTube as well?
Yeah. From what I can see, it's weird because it still shows like I'm live and I don't show any policy violation.
Somebody pulled the plug at the house or what? Bro, what? No way they took us down.
How are you guys watching this? How are they watching it if they took us down?
I know. What's going on? Well, I don't know. Maybe people are gravitating to one live. I don't know. My hot mic is gone. I don't know. Look, I'm gonna try to get TikTok back up, but while we're waiting, let's just keep it moving and keep talking. So I don't want to have any dead air. Okay, now I'm back. This is so weird. I'm back on TikTok. I don't know if people want to come back. Here I am. It says they violated policy. I didn't. I don't understand how talking about Kamala is violating policy, but
now I'm back on YouTube.
Let's just keep it rocking. I'm not even gonna deal with that. Whatever. We back. Kamala Harris is the fakest politician I have ever had the courtesy of covering since I've been paying attention to politics and podcasting. Mm-hmm. I know those numbers dropped. I had a whole bunch of people watching on TikTok. The amount of politicians that we've covered, the amount of politicians that we have researched, she by far is the absolute worst. And people are going to go vote for her. It's because of the 60 minutes copyright. It's on YouTube. There's no way. And they can't copyright because we're pausing it.
Yeah, we're pausing it. Like you can go like about 30 seconds. So we should be good.
Okay, we're back. But she's extremely fake. Like Kamala would do or say anything to get into the White House. And that's what should ultimately scare people is she's not, how do I say? I believe Obama went in there with a lot of his own agenda, but I also believe that he went in there with some of what he was told to do. I think she's just going to do what she's told to do. Because I don't know if you saw this. I don't know how many people saw Kamala on The View. Did you guys see her only admit and take ownership?
I got that clip.
You got that clip?
Yes, I got the clip. Just keep talking.
Oh, I have it pulled up right here.
Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead. You can play it. God, you're so fast.
So that's what happens when you're a millennial.
Stop it.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Well,
She wouldn't do anything, and she's admitted that she had a part in most of the decisions that had an impact. So, is she specifying what she had control of, what she had a deciding vote in? We already know the legislation that she was a tiebreaker on. How has that affected our country? In a positive or negative way?
Yeah. And this is important because I see LL Lewis saying, what do y'all want her to say? So whenever people criticize Kamala Harris, right, when they say, well, I'm not going to vote for Kamala because this, that, and the other, they say, well, she was just the vice president. She doesn't have any power. Well, not only did she come up and say just now that she co-signed on almost everything, Joe Biden went in front of the press corps at the White House press conference and said, yeah, she basically signed off on everything I did. She was a part of all that decision making. So
he sure did. I got that clip too.
Yes. So it matters. And, I'm one of those ones too that I say, like, what does the vice president do? I will say this, the vice president matters when shit hits the fan. So when Congress and cannot come to a decision on something, the vice president plays a very important role because they're the tiebreaker. Okay. So she was the tiebreaker on a lot of important issues that came up. Obviously when the president can no longer do his job, that's the person that's going to step up and do it. So the VP does matter, but to me, it sounds like Biden ran everything by her.
Well, he says it right here. He says it right here. You guys can't deny this anymore. Listen to what he says.
Obviously been a number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
So when you say LL Lewis, she's Democrat, not Republican, non-starter. When you say, of course she was a part of the bill, she's a senator and a vice president, no different than when Pence was in Senate. You can't put blame on her because she broke a tie vote. Bro, what? Why wouldn't we put blame on someone who was the tiebreaker for legislation that is ruining the economy? Why wouldn't we hold her responsible for 9.2 for a 9.2 inflation rate in 2022 when she was the tiebreaker for all this legislation to pass? You telling me she didn't contribute to inflation? How could I was a major player in all these decisions, but it's not her fault she broke a tie? Bro, what? You realize Joe Biden did whatever the he wanted as VP? Joe Biden was going to Ukraine and making deals. Where was Obama? Joe Biden sat on a stage and said, hey, look, I told Ukraine if they didn't fire that prosecutor, they wasn't getting nothing in loans. Mm-hmm. And guess what? By the time I left, I told him I was leaving. And by the time it was time for me to go, guess who was fired? The prosecutor.
Right.
A VP did that. So what do you mean? It's not the president's bill. It's not the VP's bill. It's the House or the Senate's bill. Period. I just don't understand why y'all give this woman crazy amounts of grace when she says herself, and the sitting president said himself, that she was instrumental in a lot of these decisions being made. What's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all would take it if it was a win. If we were over here bigging her up, like, thank you so much, Kamala, for what you did as VP. Thank you for standing against, Joe Biden and his reckless spending as a president, what he wanted to pass. You would be supporting that. You would be championing that on. But now, all of a sudden, we can't blame her for that because she's just a VP.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am happy that this is happening because from this point on, the VP position will be one of the most watched positions in U.S. history. Period.
Yeah.
Period. And I can blame her because she's a tie-breaking vote in Congress. Wake up and smell the fucking coffee.
And P.S. If Pence would have challenged Congress on the election, would the VP have mattered then?
Would it?
Right?
It would have mattered.
It would have mattered. You can't blame the VP. But you can't blame the VP if he did that. It's not his fault. He's just trying to support the president. Okay.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I see you, Marlon. I am on YouTube right now. As soon as we finish with this, I'll come over to TikTok and I'll bring people up because people won't be able to hear you over here, and I don't want it to be all discombobulated. Y'all just want someone to blame for inflation. What do you mean? If she was a tie-breaking vote, isn't she responsible along with Congress?
Mm-hmm.
Did you smoke some crack on your way here?
Right. He's probably one of those. It's Trump's fault.
I don't understand. If Trump was the VP and he was a tie-breaking vote and there was reckless spending attached to his vote, I would be having the same energy. There's no scapegoat. She said herself, and so I'm going to say who it is. She's a part of Congress. I don't give a fuck, don't like it or not. I'm not here to cater to your feelings or say what you want me to say because this is what the president said.
Obviously been a number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of the legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
It's so simple. Her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things that we're doing. So we can blame the president, we can blame the vice president, and we can blame Congress. It's that simple. Nobody is getting out alive. Not on my watch. Maybe y'all might want to give her excuses, but when you open your mouth to say that you were the deciding vote and you were the tiebreaker and some of the most asinine government spending in fucking history, I don't want to hear about a scapegoat, nothing. I don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So formulate an argument that matters and that makes sense, Lewis, because right now you're failing at. No, you freaking
You could
don't.
do a presidential mandate to fix it.
Bro, have they not been freaking complaining and bragging about how Texas cannot do what Texas is doing? Have they not?
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden, why do you need the help of Congress? Make it make sense. I hate politics right now. It's fun, but I hate it because people are stupid at crazy amounts, bro. I've always said Congress. Listen, I don't know where you've been, but I've always blamed Congress for not passing a bill because if the president's not going to do it, they should do it. Period. It's all right. Don't even worry about it. It'll pop back up. Listen, God provides for those who are faithful. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not discussing anything that's wrong. I am discussing her blunders and how often this woman lies about her policy and about her stance on policy. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fight the ban. I'll fight whatever they're trying to throw at me, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Look at her face, bro. She's so fucking smug.
That's how I look at her when she's talking. I'm like, really, bitch? Really?
Somebody's reporting me. It's all right though, because I'm still live. Bloop.
Yeah.
Kamala, before y'all got into office, Biden told them to surge the border.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to run that clip? Before y'all got in office, you were telling these people to come.
That is not a border security bill, Kamala. That is a welfare bill for Ukraine and Israel and everybody else but us, because I think we were only getting about 20% of that $900 billion. That's why Trump and his people turned it down. Okay? Stop lying. That is why they turned it down, because there was money for everybody else and we were getting the smallest cut.
Oh,
Bullshit.
man.
Bullshit.
Oh, wait, our stream is down again. Stream unavailable, suspended for policy violations. Huh.
We're spitting too many facts. That's what it is.
This is crazy. We're going to be back, y'all. That's why they think we're down on TikTok, because they keep saying that on the stream. We're completely shut down. How are we still live?
Lewis, are you are you reporting us, Lewis? Because we disagreed with you.
What is happening?
How
Well,
are we
y'all,
still live? I don't understand.
I don't know. I have no clue.
And what's weird is, like, if I go on my YouTube,
You're still
like
there.
I don't see it, but
I do.
it says I'm still live.
I see that we're still live right now, and there's 8 people watching.
That is so wild. So, like, they're trying to fake us out, or what? Is that
I don't know
trying
what's
to do?
going on, but YouTube keeps cutting the feed and then bringing us back. Yo, this is crazy.
So TikTok is fine. Okay, so TikTok is back. You guys,
can't
if you
talk
guys
about
can,
Kamala,
if you guys can drop a comment, and like all of you guys that are watching, and let us know where you're watching this on, whether it's Let's Talk Darling or somewhere in the middle, or Facebook or Hot Mic.
this is crazy.
This is crazy. I don't think this has ever happened to us like
It's
this
never
before.
happened to us. Not taking it down for suspending policy guidelines and then letting us back up. Like, bro, what?
But there's no warning. Like, I would get an immediate email that would be like, your live is gone.
What up, TikTok? We back.
Everybody on TikTok, give this a like. Don't let us get shut down again.
You can do this. So anybody who does reactions on YouTube, you're allowed to do it. You just have to keep pausing the video. And I've paused the video. I don't play longer than 30 seconds, but whatever. We're going to play the last couple minutes of this, because the rest of it is just her straight up lying, y'all. Like, she just lies and spills the same regurgitated talking points that she was taught, before Joe Biden decided to step down, because we all know that was not by accident. Joe Biden was getting destroyed. That debate exposed how old and decrepit and frail he was. He couldn't answer the questions. Trump was up there playing with him. He said, bro, I don't even think you know what you said. We can see your comments. Yes, we can. Everybody, I can see it. Yeah, let's continue to play it. Hot mic, YouTube, hot mic, and TikTok. Well, it seems like there's more people. Yeah. It looks like they're going back and forth between somewhere in the middle and hot mic, but on my page, somewhere in the middle is up. I don't know.
So under my analytics, it says your stream has been temporarily blocked because we detected a video belonging to someone else, which is probably the 60 minutes video. So maybe we need to pause it more often. I don't know.
I guess we can pause it more often. We've been talking about this for
Or
over an
try
hour.
try this. The
Ooh, what if I
speed.
speed it up? Yeah,
I was
we
about to
just
say,
repeat
yeah,
the
do
same
the
thing.
speed because that'll that'll confuse the system.
And Trump himself as a threat to democracy.
Mhm.
Don't you and your side call us deplorables? Deplorables, all these things. What do you mean he needs to stop being divisive? Divisive how?
Yeah. And let me say this. Do y'all remember after the first Trump assassination? I can't believe there was a second one after that and a third. But after the first one, remember, it was the Democrats that came out on public TV and they were like, we need to be nicer and stop all this divide. And they went right back to the BS. Now, some may say, well, Trump never stopped. Trump never agreed to stop the BS.
Why does he
Trump
have
never
to stop it when he didn't start it?
He didn't start it. But Trump is just being the same consistent person he's always been. Okay. I just want to point out that they were the ones that came out with that idea. We need to be nicer to each other to just virtue signal to you people that they gave a shit. But now
Right.
they're back on their bullshit.
This is just too much.
Too much. And yes, I agree. Her in sped up form is even more. It's just like nails on a chalkboard.
She's horrific.
Ugh.
This is what we got to deal with. This is what we got to deal with. Nothing happened. I switched the feed. I took it down because they keep saying we're violating it. That was the majority of the interview, y'all. We already did the Tim Waltz portion of it when he just straight lied, said he was at Tiananmen Square and he wasn't. He went a whole year later. Kamala Harris lied. She did a lot of deceptive maneuvering when talking about the economy and if it's doing good or not. She talked about the fact that inflation is now at 2.5, which is down from the highest it was, which is 9%. And she's saying that from a macro perspective, a macroeconomic perspective, that America is doing great. But what she didn't factor in are these sectors that are they're being destroyed. Okay. Transportation, price of goods, gas, insurance, so many other things. Prices are through the flipping roof. I really don't know what else needs to be said. I don't know how many more lives we can do debating, going back and forth with the facts before people actually get it. But this live, not this live, but her interviews have been absolute flipping train wrecks.
Train wrecks for her. I don't know whose idea on her team is to send her on all these interviews. Very ill prepared.
Good. Keep doing it. Keep sitting her because more people are waking up to the fact that she is a horrific pick for vice president and she is a horrific pick for president. In her 2020, and I think she ran in 20, she either was even talking about running in 2016 or she ran. I know she ran in 2020. She did horrible in 2020. She polled less than 1%. Tulsi Gabbard destroyed her on the stage. She didn't have policy that was popular. This is Kamala Harris 2020 all over again, except that she's got the media steam behind her.
Yeah.
That's her only saving grace. And even that shit's running out.
I wanted to play this little clip, and this is of her being asked, like, was democracy best served by Joe Biden handing you the nomination? Because he handed it to you, you didn't earn it. So if you recall in some of the clip that Soonie played, she was like, I earned the nomination. Well, she didn't earn the nomination. That's not how it's supposed to work. She's supposed to go through a primary, and she didn't do that. They basically handed the numbers over from Joe to her. So I'm going to play this clip so you guys can hear it.
By President Biden stepping down and basically handing you a nomination. You didn't have to go through a primary process. You didn't have to fight off other contenders. That's not really the way our system was intended to work.
President Biden made a decision that I think history is going to show is rare among leaders, which was to put country before self.
Lies.
And I am proud to have earned the support of the vast majority of delegates and to have been elected the Democratic nominee, to fight in this election over the next month for our democracy.
But I think this truncated process is why people think or say they don't really know who you are.
Look, I've been in this race for 70 days.
So once again, let's fact check LL Lewis. The Democrats kicked out and effectively silenced RFK, who was running Democrat. Before he decided to run independent, he was absolutely fighting for that spot, and they didn't let him have it. In fact, they tried to keep him off the ballots and then all of a sudden didn't want him on the ballots. Come on. I mean, they tried to keep him on. Now they wanted him off, but now they're trying to keep him on the ballots. So what you just said, nobody else stepped up, is a bold-faced freaking lie. People stepped up. They were silenced by the Democrat Party, just like they did Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders won, and Hillary Clinton took the nomination that year. So the American people did not select her. That's not what happened. The delegates did, and that's because she picked up the phone and called all of them to see if she could gain their vote. Now, what they really did was they recognized that Joe Biden could not win, and if they were to select a new candidate, all that money would have left. So they're going to use that money to run in future elections, which is the runoff, so that they can take over the Congress. And they're going to do whatever they can if Donald Trump wins to make his presidency a lame duck presidency. Now, they know they can't win with Kamala. So what's the best option? Let's take all this money and put it behind the candidates that we know can win. Why would you remove Biden? It makes no sense to remove Biden. This is for Congress. They want to make sure that Trump gets nothing done. All this money that they're generating, I guarantee you it goes behind the Senate and it's going to go behind the House. It's all going to be for Congress.
And to be honest, Joe Biden himself came out and it was like, this was really not my idea, but they kind of like forced me into this whole, I mean, he said that. So.
This is fun, man. This is fun.
Well, let me talk about the Call Her Daddy podcast. Okay. Because there was one part of that I sent this to you, Soonie. I don't know if you listened to it, where they were talking about the abortion stuff and they were talking about the woman that got an abortion in Georgia, or she went across state lines because she couldn't get an abortion in Georgia. Anyways, I had never heard of this Call Her Daddy podcast. I've never heard of this woman, Alex Cooper, who is the host. And I'm going to show you guys in just a second who she is. But when I was like looking at this podcast, I was like, what is this podcast known for? And I guess it's known for like talking to women, giving them advice, talking about sex, relationships, stuff like that, you know? But all of a sudden out of nowhere, this Alex Cooper chick decides she's going to get into politics because she cares about women's rights. So she's going to start interviewing politicians. Okay. Funny enough, she starts with Kamala Harris. But she's taking a lot of heat for doing this interview. Kamala is, and also Brett is. There was a lot of negative comments on her video, and people were just like, I'm unfollowing you. I can't believe like you're talking politics now. It definitely wasn't a good move for her. But also for Kamala, it wasn't a good move because she literally gave this interview while everything was going down in the aftermath of Helene in North Carolina, the hurricane that hit there. So she was seen as rather insensitive for going on a podcast to talk about stuff that really didn't matter. She didn't even get asked about the hurricane. She didn't address anything about it. So it was quite a disaster. So we have about a 7-minute of footage from this interview, and I want to go ahead and play that for people because this is where they are talking about reproductive rights and abortion.
In Pennsylvania, former President Trump recently told women, "You will be protected and I will be your protector." What do you make of that?
So he who, when he was president, hand selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did just as he intended. And there are now 20 states with Trump abortion bans,
There's no
including
abortion bans.
bans that make no exception for rape or incest, which we just discussed, which means that you're telling a survivor of a crime of a violation to their body, they don't have a right to make a decision about what happens to their body next.
Okay, let's fact check this really quick. Okay, this is not, I don't know why they keep calling it a Trump abortion ban. This is not a Trump abortion ban. For people that don't know how that ruling works, it was basically decided that the decision about whether a woman can get an abortion legally is going to be handed over to each individual state. So it is the state and the elected officials within that state that made the decision, whatever way they made it, whether it was to have abortions be legal or to have abortions not be legal. That was the decision of the state. Okay. Second of all, before any of that comes into play, and I know that the only example they like to talk about is cases of rape and incest. Okay. Because that's the only way you get pregnant these days. God forbid there's women out here that are just like throwing their punani all over the streets. Okay. Which the example that they're about to give of a specific woman was not a rape or incest case. Okay. And Soonie has already talked about the fact that the rape or incest statistic is not the majority of cases of women that are getting abortions.
Not even close.
Right.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Leaving it up to the states made it worse since those 2 women died. Those 2 women, so the one woman died because she took an abortion pill.
Mm-hmm.
And she was pregnant with twins. So as far as I'm concerned, she unalived herself. Has nothing to do with any laws.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other woman. Allegedly, she died she was unalived in a parking lot. But either way, I'm taking a guess in a minute. Yeah, I see you. I'll take a guess in a little bit. Either way, Kamala Harris can do nothing about Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court has already ruled. States have voted. How she's going to get Congress, just like he asked her earlier, how are you going to get Congress behind this?
Mm-hmm.
That the same question remains there. How are you going to get Congress behind going on top of the Supreme Court to fight for rights that women still retain?
Mm-hmm.
There is no abortion ban.
Mm-hmm.
Every state does not have a total abortion, and you will not be persecuted if you travel across state lines to go get an AB. So I'm not really understanding what rights they're necessarily missing. I'm not really sure what she's even running on, because her promises, they're not promises. They're just, she's blowing hot air at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, and they do talk about in detail, you're going to hear it in a little bit, they talk about in detail this woman that went across state lines to get an abortion, the one that Soonie said was pregnant with twins. What I keep picking up on, and Kamala goes into the fact that she made an appointment at this clinic in another state. I think it was North Carolina that she went to. She went to another state, right? Made an appointment, didn't get to her appointment on time. That's your fault. So they said to her, sorry, we don't have, you missed your surgery schedule, because they were supposed to do some type of more surgical in-depth procedure. I'm assuming because she was pregnant with twins and she was past the mark of a typical abortion. Okay. So they were going to have to do some type of more in-depth procedure. So she says, so she didn't get to go through with that appointment. So she took a pill. My question is, where did you get the pill? Because nobody's talking about, did that facility? Because I need that facility to come out and say, yeah, we offered her this pill in lieu of the surgery. I bet
where'd she get the pill? Good question.
I bet you anything that facility, because it's HIPAA, they're not going to be able to say it, but that facility probably did not issue her that pill. She probably went to a shady Planned Parenthood location, and they gave her a pill, right? I don't know. Either way, let me just play the rest of this interview. Do you have something to say? I'm going to play the rest of it, but
what was I going to say? I forgot. Go ahead and play it. Maybe I'll think about it. It'll pop up in my head.
Which is immoral. So this is the same guy that is now saying that. This is the same guy who said that women should be punished for having abortions. This is the same guy who uses the kind of language he does to describe women. So
real quick, I want to address Birdman's comment. The medical malpractice is not against the facility that was in the state where the abortion was legal. When she went back to Georgia, that's when she started to have complications and of the pill that she took. And the malpractice is against the Georgia hospital that she went to, or the emergency room, because they were like, what do we do in this instance? We didn't issue her this pill. Abortion's not legal. So this was literally like on the cusp of this decision even being made. So they weren't even clear on what their legal obligations were at that point.
And look, this is what happens when you give this option, right? Doctors start to say, well, yeah, I'm not even interested in a lawsuit. So yeah, you're going to have to go somewhere else. This is what happens when this is even an option. Someone on TikTok said, the girl with the miscarriage of the twins was medical malpractice. They knew she was septic and waited. Once again, when you have such ambiguous language attached to these discussions, I think you run into things like what I just mentioned, doctors being afraid of getting sued, doctors not knowing what to do because the language on these bills, on these pieces of legislation, they're too ambiguous, bro. Some things are labeled, to my knowledge, when you go in to have a DNC, they label it an abortion. Don't know why they label it an abortion, because the pregnancy is already over. It's not like they're terminating anything. They're just getting rid of the remainder of the child and your, what do you call it? What's the sac that they're in?
The amniotic sac.
Amniotic sac. So, and I don't think I saw what you said. I don't think Trump made it worse. I think it comes down to the state legislators to respect what the Supreme Court did and make sure that they make that verbiage very clear. I don't even think you can blame this on Trump. I would blame the state more than anything.
Yeah, there you go.
I do want to focus on abortion for a moment because 2 years ago, Roe v. Wade was overturned and women lost their constitutional right to an abortion. I put out
2 years ago
about it. I flew to North Carolina. I went to a preferred women's health center. I met with women that were getting screamed at and chanted at and called baby killers. And it was the most eye-opening experience I've ever had because I am a privileged white woman that lives in Los Angeles and I am so aware of that.
Oh yeah, this is where I turned it off. I said, I'm not watching this.
Right there, she discredited herself tenfold. I'm a privileged white woman who lives in Los Angeles, and I'm well aware of that. Who cares? Shut up. I hate women like this.
This is crazy.
And on top of that, she's pandering to somebody of mixed race. Like, where are you trying to go with this exactly?
Right. That didn't even grow up in the hood.
Right.
That had access, that went to school. Like,
owned slaves. Okay. Her family owned slaves. Like, where are you trying to go with this?
I understand that a lot of the younger generation sees things online and is like, what is right? What is wrong? What is real? What is not? Can you explain and talk about what is actually happening to abortion access right now in this country?
Yeah. So again, I thank you for what you've been doing and at the earliest stage of this and following the stories. So, on public policy, I often tell my team, look, I don't want to hear about public policy is a fancy kind of speech or paper. Tell me how it'll affect a real person. So let's talk about how it affects a real person. The majority of women who receive abortion care are mothers. So if she's in a state,
wait, hold on. Where did she go to? Where did she get her education? Because for her,
Oh my God!
for her to put that together, the majority of women that receive abortions are mothers.
Our mothers.
Wait, so are you admitting that the baby is a baby? A person? Because you can't be a mother to just a cell. Can you?
Dude. She said the majority of these women are mothers.
Oh, it gets better. Listen to this. We'll stop this one periodically because she's about to say some bullshit.
and by the way, every state in the South, except for Virginia, has an abortion ban. Okay. So imagine she's in a state with an abortion ban. 1 out of 3 women are, by the way, in our country. And she's a mom. So she's going to have to figure out, one, God help her if she has affordable childcare. God help her if she has paid leave. And then she's going to have to go to the airport, stand in a TSA line.
What?
I think right here she's saying that privileged white women don't ever have to get abortions, right? These are only people in underserved communities, right? Because they can't afford, God help her if she can even afford childcare. She's got to go to the airport. Okay, people go to the airport for a lot of things, not just abortions. People stand in TSA lines for a lot of things, not just abortions.
But why put her on an airplane like she has a car? I'm sure there's a state over that she can literally drive to.
Well,
why
Soonie,
put her in the line at the airplane in the TSA? I just don't understand this picture that she's painting.
God, Soonie, I thought you were smart. Okay. Don't you remember that during the last election, people couldn't vote in these very same communities because they didn't have driver's licenses? Do you not remember that?
But but how do we get to the airport then?
They can't afford anything. Okay.
That's a pretty expensive Lyft ride, Uber ride. You guys ever caught an Uber to the airport?
Right. And then you got to pay baggage fees.
I mean, is she just going with a backpack? Because if she could pay for a round trip ticket there and back immediately, that's an expensive ticket. So what do you mean?
And let's not talk about the drive she took to get pregnant. Right?
Yeah.
Because she was probably somewhere. She probably wasn't at her house.
Just the way she lies is like fake, bro. Can you like lie fake? Does that even make sense?
It's called being a bad liar.
Do you get what I'm saying though? Like the way she lies is just like, dude, I know we can all see you. And I know that you're selling a crock of crap. Like you you're selling me bullshit.
Okay, let's keep listening. It gets better.
Okay.
Sit on a plane next to a perfect stranger.
Don't we all sit on a plane next to a perfect stranger? Shut up.
To go to a city where she's never been, to receive the care she needs. She's going to probably have to get right back on that plane because she's got those kids. Her best friend's probably not with her because that's who's taking care of the kid.
Okay, so now we can assume she's a baby mama. Okay, so she's done this before. Because she got to have her best friend take care of the
Because how
kid.
does she have it mapped out? I'm gonna go catch this flight real quick, round trip there and back. You watch the kids for me, and then I can make sure I get back to work in like a 1-2 punch.
Right. So it went something like this. I was like, Hey, Soonie, girl, I gotta go get another abortion. Can you come over here and watch these damn kids for me? I gotta go get on a plane and sit next to somebody I don't know and stand in a TSA line. Just come over here.
Okay, I got you. Kamala, bro. Oh my God.
This is terrible. Okay, well, let's keep listening.
It's to get back in that TSA line, to get back on a plane, to go home.
And that's all if they can even afford the plane ticket or the bus ticket.
Exactly.
Exactly. Because when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I remember my DMs were flooded with thousands of women begging me to help. And it's overwhelming. And I can't even imagine, I'm saying that in front of you, but it's overwhelming. And I remember,
thank God you're a privileged white woman. That's probably why they were DMing you. They were like, she surely has the resources to help me with my abortion problem.
Mm-hmm.
Did she pay for plane tickets? Is that what she's saying?
White people, y'all might want to start marking this off as reparations. I'm just saying.
Add it to the total.
people begging me like, I just need to afford a bus ticket so I can get out of this abortion desert that I live in the South, so I can get to a state. But they can't even afford, you know what I mean? So it's like these people are literally landlocked into a position that they don't want to be.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing is that you don't have to abandon your faith or deeply held beliefs to agree that
yes, you do.
Shouldn't be telling her what to do.
Yes, you do.
Exactly.
Ma'am.
It's literally what you have to do. What was that? I heard like wings flapping.
Kamala. Yo. Why are you making me watch this?
Because it's so good. It is the epitome of Kamala-ism, okay?
Kamala. I wish someone would ask her, how would I not be abandoning my deeply held views?
Mm-hmm.
Right? For saying that the government shouldn't be involved. If the government is acting as the moral police by saying you cannot go get this procedure because it is unaliving, why would I not support that? Because you're too insane to understand that it's actually unaliving something.
Right.
So I do have to abandon my deeply held views, because then I'm saying that I'm okay with this woman making this choice, and I'm not. Can she go make it regardless of what I think? Yeah. But I'm not going to support her in doing that. Like, I don't know, bro.
All right, let's keep listening.
She'll talk to her priest, her pastor, her rabbi, her imam, but not the government telling you what to do. And that's what's so outrageous about it, is a bunch of these guys up in these state capitals are writing these decisions because they somehow have decided that they're in a better position to tell you what's in your best interest than you are to know what's in your own best interest. It's outrageous.
It's outrageous.
Why? Can I ask a question?
Put it in.
Sure.
Why do they ignore the pro-life women that speak out against this? They always, you notice this? They always talk about the men. Men want to tell you this. What about the women?
Yeah, that are saying the same thing.
Exactly. No, what you're doing is crazy.
Yeah.
No, that's actually unaliving. No, I don't actually support that. No, I don't think you should have the option. So what about us?
You don't matter, Soonie.
Why don't we matter?
Because
I feel like if they bring that up, then that completely just destroys this crazy narrative that women are somehow battling to retain their reproductive rights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, I agree. Good point.
Our TikTok terms. I have seen girls on the street walk up to men and be like, do you know where a tampon goes? Do you know how many tampons we use? Do you even know how, do you know what a X or Y or Z is of a part of our, and they don't know the answer.
I was the first.
What? Are
vice
you kidding
president or
me?
president.
Go ahead.
So you don't think men know where tampons go?
Yeah. No, she hears women in the streets pointing it out. I've never in all my years of being a woman ever heard that.
So men are stupid, so dumb that they don't know after even being with you, right? Like, I'm pretty sure they went through sex ed just like you do. Women have periods.
Right, exactly.
So
They
you're either going to use a pad or a tampon, right?
But isn't it wild? They don't know where to stick the tampon, but they sure do know the hole below it or above it. I
Right.
don't even know where to stick their penis to get you pregnant in the first place.
This interview is disrespectful, but okay.
Yeah.
To ever in office go to a reproductive health care clinic ever.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I didn't know that, but I guess that makes sense.
To your point.
And yet the men are making the decisions about our bodies.
She's proud of
Wait,
that.
what?
She's proud.
Can you rewind it back just a little bit? What was her point?
She's hold on.
To your point.
And yet the men.
Yes. Yeah.
Keep going.
Clinic ever.
Keep going.
In office.
X or Y or Z is of a part of our, and they don't know the answer.
I was the first vice president or president to ever in office go to a reproductive health care clinic ever.
Really?
Basically a Planned Parenthood. She was the first president. Like, she's proud of that.
Why are you bragging about it as if it's like something great? I went to Planned Parenthood and I'm the first one to do it ever. And
Right.
she's like, what?
Right.
Like, you're a president and you stepped foot in an unaliving facility?
Even worse, she's a woman. Okay. What does that tell you? That the presidents and vice presidents before her did not want to have anything to do with it. Even Obama said, hell no, I'm not going over there.
This is
Yeah.
crazy.
I know.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I didn't know that, but I guess that makes sense.
To your point.
And yet the men are making the decisions about our bodies.
And here's the other thing about this point, it's about IVF treatments and access. It's about access to contraception, which is very much at risk with these folks. It is about, back to the point about reproductive health clinics. You know what those clinics also do? They do PAPs. They do breast cancer screenings. They do HIV testing. And they're having to close in many places with these bans. So think about the fact that for anyone who has gone to one of these clinics, you understand that it is sometimes the most trusted place where people receive that kind of health care, because they walk into those places that are generally staffed by people who create a safe place for people to come in without judgment. So anyone seeking any kind of reproductive health care and wanting to go to a place where they feel safe and without judgment, these clinics have often been the place that people can go. And many of them are having to close because of these laws.
I was raised Catholic, and abortion is the sin. And when I put out that episode, I had a lot of women reach out to me saying like, wow, I live in the South and I never thought about it that way. Like, maybe I am pro-choice because I won't get an abortion because of my religion,
right.
But why should we control what someone else wants
And
to
that's
do?
And you know what's interesting, Alex, to your point, what I'm finding as I travel, people who before 2 years ago, before Roe v. Wade was overturned, people who felt very strong about that they are anti-abortion, are now seeing what's happening and saying, I didn't intend for all this to happen. And I think that's also why in state after state, so-called red states and so-called blue states, when this issue has been on the ballot, the American people are voting for freedom. Because ultimately it's about, look, this is not about imposing my thoughts on you in terms of what you do with your life or your body. It's actually quite the opposite. It's saying the government shouldn't be telling people what to do.
But that didn't apply during COVID.
Right.
And I apologize. I thought in this one she went into that girl getting an abortion, but we kind of covered it. The girl was pregnant with twins, went to another state to get an abortion because she couldn't get it in Georgia, didn't make it to her appointment on time. Plane was probably late, delayed by TSA, whatever the fact. And they said, sorry, you missed your appointment. You're not going to be able to get an abortion. And then she takes an abortion pill. Now she was over the 6 week or 60, whatever the marker is in Georgia for the time you can get an abortion. She was past that. She took an abortion pill, again, pregnant with twins. I don't know how these abortion pills work on multiples. But she basically died from sepsis. And they're suing the hospital who treated her back in Georgia for her death. And that this is the example that they use. And I want to point out that this woman was not raped. Okay. She was the mother already of children. Kamala makes sure to tell everybody during the interview that she just got her nursing degree. So shame on her even more because she's working in the healthcare field. She should know, but maybe she thought she knew better and that pill would be safe for her. But she said, oh, she's got her whole life ahead of her, whatever. So she's painting this picture of this girl that just, could do no wrong because she has a degree in nursing and she already has a child. Didn't say anything about a husband, but she got pregnant. She didn't want the pregnancy, plain and simple. She just didn't want the pregnancy. So that's what the statistic supports, is that that's the majority of cases that are using abortion as women's health care. They don't want the pregnancy.
Well, this is interesting. This article that I pulled up, it's a policy analysis. This was done in March of 2024. Abortions increased in 2023 after Roe v. Wade was overturned.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the 11% increase at a national level in many ways understates the degree to which health systems, providers, and support networks have had to scale up care. States without bans experienced a 26% increase in abortions in 2023. States bordering banned states had large increases. In total, these states had an increase of 38% between 2020 and 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. So, once again, these arguments don't really make sense. If this is such a dire issue, why are people still having access to abortions? Even if they have to leave the state, they're still getting their abortion.
Yep.
So, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Why are you running on this? And why are women so gullible enough to fall for it?
Because they're emotional.
Yeah, but they like to say, we're rational women. We're different. But we'll just say this. I like to call them hybrid beings because they don't act like women, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
They act like a hybrid. I don't know what they are, but when they say that they're strong, they're independent, they can, they're competent, they can function in life just like men. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
And then we run into situations like this where you're literally supporting a woman who says that she's going to fight for your reproductive rights and she has no path forward to do that.
Right. Yeah.
It almost makes me want to cry. I have to laugh, but do you know how insanely stupid you have to be to fall for something like that?
Well, clearly. That and everything else she says.
I'm just like,
yeah.
This is so sad, Mo. It's so sad.
It is sad. It is sad. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really wish I could interview a Harris voter who has fully seen all of these interviews. I want to say, if it even exists, a well-informed Harris voter. So they've seen all of her. You know what I mean? They've seen all her interviews. They have watched a Trump rally, right? To see what he has to say, or a Trump, interview, whatever. And they still decide she's the best option.
I got you.
And don't send me like to Antifa Corey, please.
No. I'm going to send you some TikTok people. There's a guy named Dree that knows all this and accepts all her flaws.
Why though? What's the reasoning he gives?
He don't like Trump.
Oh, because he has Trump derangement.
He's got TDS.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But he'll talk to you.
That's amazing.
Right?
That's amazing. So
These
you
people are
don't love your
dedicated.
country. You don't love your country. You don't really care about yourself. That you'll literally vote for your own demise because you hate a man.
They think it's their demise. They really think that Trump is a threat to democracy. They really think that Trump getting in office is going to somehow destroy America. And I think that that's funny, given this is the guy who is fighting against the very agenda that you say you're against.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which is like taking people's rights, the government regulating what you can, what you can't do. Like you mentioned COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cared when the government was telling us that we had to, pump ourselves with this like foreign substance that nobody studied.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out people were indeed falling ill and dead because of their what were they finding in those people's veins? Those blood clots.
Blood clots, yeah.
Come on, man. Y'all support tyrannical governments. Just admit it. You're a threat to democracy. Anybody who's voting Kamala, I'm going to say it on the show tonight. You are a threat to democracy. And you should know it.
But it's those same people, and I hate to simplify it, but it just annoys the shit out of me. It's those same people that are like, yeah, I went to that restaurant and I didn't feel good after that meal. So I'm never going back. And I suggest you don't go there either.
I got food poison.
Right. So I am boycotting all the Chili's in the United States because I got sick one time. And I'm going to put a bad review and let you all know you shouldn't go there either. But yet you vote for shit like this. It blows my mind.
Somebody said, does Trump get blamed for the jab? Yeah. Where have you been?
We've been saying that.
Where have you been? I've been saying this for like 3.5 years now.
Yes.
Almost 40 years.
I have been saying the one thing I would love to hear him do is to admit his communication on the jab and saying that it was the best thing ever, blah, 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 that he needs to like retract all that.
He ain't gonna do that. We're talking about Trump, bro. Trump is egotistical. Please. He thinks that thing is the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
It saved hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of lives. I'm like, bro, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
He hasn't said it though, like that, like in a while.
You know what I want Trump to stop talking about? Since mankind. He did say that.
Yeah.
Greatest thing since mankind. I would like for Trump to stop talking about the Haitians. I would like for Trump to like just stop talking about Kamala, bro. Just talk about the policy.
Yeah.
That's all I really want him to do. Just until the election. After you win, you could get on Twitters and have Twitter fingers and piss everybody off because you're in office, whatever.
Yeah.
But calm down while you're outside, man.
He did his town hall, by the way. I'm looking to see when Kamala's, because they're doing separate town halls, and he did.
I want to watch Kamala's. Yeah, I already know what I'm getting with Trump.
Yeah, he did his. And by the way, there was a Green Beret that stood up, and he said, "I was let go from the military because I didn't take the jab."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, and Trump said, I want to reinstate all these people that were, let go from the military for this because it was wrong. And I want you to be compensated for all the pay and blah, 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 blah. And the guy, and then he asked the guy, he said, did you ever end up getting it? And he said, no. And Trump said, well, that's great that you made that decision for yourself. So he didn't go on to push the jab. But I was like, had the guy said yes, would Trump have been like, it's great, isn't it?
He probably would have.
Yeah, I'm glad that
Saved
the guy
your life,
answered
right?
no. Yeah.
Yeah, Trump's a character.
Mm-hmm.
He's a character. He did something that had me just in tears. I can't remember what he did. It was something that he said.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have the Kamala town hall to react to. And then by then they will have released the Kamala with Howard Stern interview that went on today. It's on Sirius Radio right now. That's going out. So she's making the rounds, y'all. She's making the rounds.
She's putting the nail in her coffin.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I'm actually excited to watch her. If Kamala Harris wins, guys, I don't know if I'll be able to come live and do what I do. I'm just being 1000% honest.
I may be like that meme of that lady that was just like she was ugly face crying.
No, I'm not going to do it. When I was screaming.
When Hillary lost, remember?
Yeah.
No. That might be me. I'm just going to be real with you guys.
I'm going to get online and cry.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I'm going to be like, I told you. Although I don't think she's going to win. Like, if I'm being honest, I don't think she's going to win.
Yeah.
But I didn't think Joe Biden was going to win.
Totally didn't see that one coming.
Although I can see him winning over Kamala. That's what I can see.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'll tell you what, like, it is going to be a disappointment if he does not win for me. But because I am a believer in Christ, I'm going to be okay, right?
Absolutely.
What worries me is the state of other people who are like, they're literally going to think this is the end of the world, and they're just going to keep spreading that. Like, it's just going to keep going and going and going. And in my mind, I'm going to be like, okay, I don't know what the hell happened there or how that happened.
I'm talking about the Q-tards.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I worry for the state of people's mentality that don't have the strength to like recognize that they answer to a higher power, not to Trump, not to Kamala, not to any other candidate. Yes, it will be a devastational, election if she wins for our country economically and all kinds of other ways. But
everybody's life's going to go on, just like it did with Biden. I'll be honest. The 4 years with Biden actually kind of flew by for me.
They did.
Now that I'm here, like I finally moved home, I'm like, dude, that was really fast.
It really was. I
don't
kind of
feel like that was 4 years.
I kind of miss Joe.
You miss Joe?
I miss him. Like, the closer we get to the possibility of her, I'm like, I don't know, like, if I just had like some type of like mental block, but like now I hear Joe talking, I'm like, was he really that bad? Like next to Kamala, you know what I mean? Like when you put the comparison, I'm like, was Joe really that bad?
They were, but they're both that bad.
Yeah,
horrible. Joe Biden's 4 years that was rough. This he has to go down as like one of the oldest dementia-ridden presidents ever in American history. Like, I wonder when I'm like 60 going on 70, right? 65. Are my kids gonna be like, dude, I remember my mom talking about this old fucking ass president, Joe Biden, and I saw clips of him on the internet, bro. Do y'all remember him falling asleep here? Do you remember this president couldn't get it right on the stage and just stop talking mid-sentence and said, forget it.
You know what, Soonie? Your kids are gonna have all the merch you created as like souvenirs to be like, my mom made this merch. Like, that'd be kind of cool, actually. That's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Dude. I just wonder what they're going to be like. I wonder what humanity's going to be like when they look back on Joe Biden.
I'm sure our parents said the same thing. I wonder what that, when we were kids, I wonder what their situation is going to be like. Every generation probably went on and was like, yeah, they're screwed. Oh, anyways, you got to get to your TikTok lives. We got to end the show. We've already gone past the limit we set for ourselves.
We have gone past it, way past it, but it was fun. I had fun reacting to Kamala. I had fun doing the fact checks. I had fun watching TikTok. I mean, not TikTok, but YouTube. That was weird. That's never happened to us. We run clips all the time.
Mm-hmm.
that was weird. Anyways, it was a fun show. It's always a pleasure reacting to her. She's like the Christmas tree that never stops giving.
Yeah,
Kamala.
For sure.
Everything
Let
she
us
does is a
know
wonder.
if you guys like this format of us reacting to stuff, especially like leading up to the election. There's going to be tons of stuff. We have less than 30 days, so it's do or die.
Do or die.
If you want us to keep doing these, we will definitely keep doing them. Or if you want us to go back to our old format of just having random topics of all sorts, we can do that as well.
We can. I like this though. I like getting on here and just talking about what's happening for the day and then dipping out.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
TikTok, I'm going to hop over here in a little bit and we're going to take a brief pause. But if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, thank you guys so much for tuning in with us and hanging out with us for the past 2 hours. Yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have a town hall to react to throughout the week. Or maybe when is it supposed to be? Do you know? Is it this week?
I have to look it up. Hers, I don't know.
And Trump already did his. I can't watch a Trump town hall. Not right now. I need a break from Trump. So I'm going to wait on the Kamala one. I'm going to just be watching all things Kamala because this 60-minute interview was funny as crap.
Yeah.
The Hey Daddy interview is funny. And you said she did Howard Stern. Oh, God. He is off the chain. I want to see the type of stuff that he asks her.
Yeah. I want to see Robin. I want to see Robin go at her.
Who's Robin?
His co-host. You know, the black woman that is like, she sits in the little booth. She's been with him. Yeah. Robin's like always been with him. And she like sits in the booth. Like she's never on screen. Well, she is on screen sometimes, but she'll say like, she's like his sidekick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys.
Yeah. Are you going to hit the outro or am I going to do it? Because you messed it up last time.
You do it. I just can't. I've messed up too much tonight.
All right, go. Peace out.
Bye.
So when you're done getting high, when the party's over, where you going?